Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I would like to welcome you all in the session number 5. In this session, we are addressing one of the important topics which relates the water, food, and energy nexus. And I have been honored to be the facilitator or moderator of this session. And I would like to start by introducing myself. I'm Dr. Ala El-Zawahri. I am Professor of Hydraulics, Faculty of Engineering, Cairo University. Can we start the presentation, please?
لا هو هيشير سكرين عنده. هي دي بتاعت حضرتك.
Okay, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, this panel is addressing the important topic of the water, food, energy nexus. And as we will see in the presentation, that this topic is very important, and also it's very applicable to the region which we are living in. And if you consider that we have a transboundary river, which is the River Nile, and I believe that this issue is highly impacting the area we are living in. We have the honor also to have 6 speakers from different regions and different backgrounds. All of them are attacking the same issue from different angles. Our speakers, as we can see here, we have 3 of them sitting physically, and would like to welcome them for giving the time. And we have 3 will be presenting their presentation virtually online. We have Professor Yasser El-Shayeb, and we have also Dr. Manuel Espiano. We have Her Excellency Dr. Charafat. We have Dr. Magid Mahmoud, and we have Dr. Nisreen, and we have Her Excellency Dr. Bianca. Those are the 6 speakers who will start giving the presentations. This is my photo, as you can see, and I'm giving here some information about myself. As I mentioned, I'm Professor of Hydraulics, Cairo University. I got my PhD and Master from McMaster University, Canada. I am a member of the negotiation team of the Renaissance Dam, the Ethiopian Dam. I have been working with the United Nations, and I have practical experience for the design of dams and all water utilities. And also I am the chair of the Egyptian Eye Code. Before we start giving the floor to the speakers, I give here some graphs from the internet just to shed some light on the nexus. On the right-hand side, you can see that we have a triangle with 3 corners: food, energy, and water. You can see the connection between each two is two-way, between food and water, and between water and energy and food. I would like to attract your attention in this graph about the three red arrows. We can see the bottom arrow where we are addressing the issue of food to be used for energy generation. This has high impact on the region due to what's called land grabbing. And we will shed some light on the land grabbing later on during this session. Also, when you address the issue of food and water, yes, water is used for food production, but how food can be transferred into water, this is virtual water, which is very important because as you are aware that Egypt is in need for virtual water, almost about 34 PCM, which to cover the food gap in Egypt. So food means water at the same time. So the issue of virtual water is also very important. If you look at the third arrow to the left, you will find that we have energy to generate, to be used for water supply, and at the same time we have water to be used for generating energy by dams and so on. So the issue of the dams will come to this picture. Despite that, the water used for power generation is non-consumptive, and the water used for irrigation is consumptive, but still there is some conflict and optimization to take place between how to use the water for power generation or to use the water for food production. If you look at the left-hand side of the presentation, this figure, we have 5 corners here, or 5 blocks. We added 2 blocks here, one about land and the other about minerals, which come to the picture of the nexus or the relation between food, water, and energy. We will move now to our first presenter, which is Her Excellency Dr. Charafat. Dr. Charafat is a former minister in charge of water in Morocco between 2013 and 2018. She graduated as a hydrological engineer from Mohammadiyya School. Dr. Charafat began her journey as an engineer in the Moroccan Potable Water Office. Of course, she was taking care of all the technical issues in this job. And then she continued her duty for serving Morocco's security water access for all, enhancing the role of water. As a minister, she launched important reforms and concluded several achievements. Many achievements were concluded under her leadership, and finally, she also played an important role in recognition of water as most affected sector by climate change. So we will invite Dr. Charafat to give her presentation. The presentation will be 15 minutes.
Good morning, everybody. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Ala, for the introduction. I'm very happy to be with you, and thank you for the organizer for the invitation. This is my second time I contribute to the Cairo Water Week. It's become actually a huge event in the MENA region. It's Arabic week before to be Cairo Water Week. It's Arabic Water Week. I'm really proud to be part of this event for the second time. Actually, we are talking about a very important issue that in the MENA region, the nexus. But by the COVID, we discover other nexus, not only between water, energy, and food, but between health, human health. The COVID-19 is actually a very big lesson for us of how to build a real public policy that could put the human in the center of any development. Did you talk, Dr. Ala, about five pillars by introducing environment? Let me introduce you another one. Next slide, please. What we call the five pillars or the five fingers for any sovereignty state. This is maybe the major lesson that we learned from the COVID-19. Any state sovereignty or autonomy cannot be achieved without achieving the water security, the energy and the food security, and the human health, uh, taking into consideration the role or the importance of education. Education. This is what we call the five fingers for any state sovereignty, and we should really build integrated public policy taking into consideration the five important sectors that could ensure and secure any autonomy or any sovereignty of the state. This is what we call our advocacy for next years. It will be around those sector. For the water and energy sector, we are all agree that we are discussing in many international conference the interlinkages and the interdependency between water and food and energy security by building building a convergence public policy. But unfortunately, we have to be frank with ourselves. We have in the MENA region, each sector plans his policy separated than other sector, and we are looking for the water to satisfy the demand for the agriculture. We are looking for the water to satisfy also the demand for energy, and we are looking also for the energy to satisfy the treatment of water. This is the starting point could be and conversion target and objective for any public policy that will allow us to build a very strong integrated public policy, including the same targeted for water, for food, and for energy. Without taking these points in the starting point, we cannot really achieve our SDG related to water, energy, and food security. And I think this is the core of any problem in the MENA region. Next slide, please. I was talking about this slide, sorry, about the integrated water policy. We should build a real integrated public policy taking into consideration. For Morocco, for example, we are trying to build integrated policies between agriculture, between energy, and between water. But we really, at the reality, there is some gaps between objective of agriculture and the water need. For example, in the one region, in the South region, we are really suffering from the drought, and we are trying to solve population from 30. In the other side, we have agriculture. They are asking for water, and there is no water in the dams. Why? We are extended the surface, the irrigated area, without taking into consideration the potential of each region and the possibility to satisfy all demand. This is maybe we can discuss in other how to build real integrated public policies for three of the sectors, not just of one. Next, please. I'm going to show the Moroccan model for example, for the water policy, which is based on three pillars. For the first one is demand management. Before looking for additional resource, we should look how we consume the actual resources that we have between our hands by reducing the loss, by converting the irrigation system, by implementing the water economy plan, by also producing and taking advantage from the resources. But to be frank with you, the goals are not the goals, the realization at very low regarding to our target or regarding to project, because the people when they see the water they are available, they don't care about how to save this water, how to implement economic plan for using this water, uh, as well as for drinking water, as well as for the energy and agriculture. And managing demand is the core of any water governance in the MENA region. The second pillar, it will be development of the offer. I mean, we look for additional resources, but we are already in the time, we are approaching the saturation. That means all the resources, natural fresh water available, are already stored or achieved the saturation. So we are looking for other resources by encouraging conventional, non-conventional water by desalination. We starting encourage the technology not only for drinking water. I'm going to show you one very good project for irrigation in the south of Morocco, and by reuse. I mean reuse of treatment water. We really didn't have a big effort in that issue. For the towns, for dams, we are targeting. We are construction three big dams a year. For desalination, we ambush our target. It's 500 cubic meter by the year. Sorry, this is the 2013, not 2013, not 13. And even for the used water, we ambition to produce 325 million meter by 2030. The third pillar, the last but least, is groundwater governance. I think we have the same problem in the MENA region, a depletion of our strategic reserve, underground reserve, and it should be discussed with very with serious how to build sustainable use for the groundwater, and of course the adaptation of climate change to the all water. This is three pillars for the water public policy in Morocco. But how we next, please, how we could finance and fund finance. Of course, the public budget is not enough to finance all those projects. They are demanding, very demanding, and demand a huge budget of us. The state continue to support the water sector and the operator also by paying the cost of water for the users. But we built another way to finance as innovative finance. It's encouraging PPP, public-private partnership. And we had a really, when I was and the minister, we had a really private sector are really willing and motivated to be a partner for the state in financing big infrastructure like dams, pipeline, power plant, desalination plant, and also what we start by next, please. But we how we start in Morocco, first to build legislative and regulatory framework that could encourage private sector to get more involving in the water sector and for securing their investment. So the Moroccan Parliament have voted for the first time in 2030 the PPP law, and this law has been amended in 2019. It's really now it's a very pretty achievement for the Moroccan parliament, and we start really attracting more private sector to get involved and to invest for the first time dams to produce as well the water and the energy. We have also another achievement that has been encouraged during the private sector and the liberalization of the renewable energy. What that mean? That mean any private sector could come to Morocco, build and a dam and produce the hydropower energy and sell it by himself to customers. That means we have really free market for the renewable energy in the middle and the high tension, of course. And the other law that encadre le framework in the delegated management for public services. I mean, the municipality could delegate some services just like water supply, energy, transport, or manage domestic water to to private company that encouraging more the private sector to get more involved in those public services. Next, please. Next. But for example, for the agreement, private agreement, they should secure some principle. PPP agreement, of course, the good governance, the objectivity that is any project. It's better to have. These contracts, the freedom access, the equal treatment. I will be very brief, and transparency. Just there is three options for the PPP. Call of interest. The public sector could ask for a call on interest, spontaneous offer. That means anyone could offer for the state to build a project or to be a partner for other projects without any call of interest. And third one, in negotiated procedure, that the state could ask some private sector to be partners. I'm going to show you just two successful cases in Morocco. It's a desalination plant in Sousse Basin. This is the first one in Morocco, which will deliver the water for drinking water, also as well as the irrigation, with the capacity of 275 mil cubic meter a day. Also by water supply and irrigation. This is the first one using the solar energy. It's a really very, very huge power plant with secure water access for drinking water, and also as well as for the energy. It will be functional in the March by 21. The workshop under construction, and it's really going very quickly. The second one is the garden transfer for the irrigation for the oranges, which they transfer water from 90 kilometers from Aulus dams to the farms with the participation of the private sector. I think I take more than more time. It's my pleasure again to be part of this session, and thank you for your attention. Could you please the next one? Other one, just show the pictures. The last ones.